We have decided to have little nose into authentic leadership. We thought it sounded very interesting, but what we really wanted to do was to have a look at it from a number of different perspectives. So we're going to start off with what's gone on in Moodle and have a little nose in there, see what people have been saying. We're going to go on to the theoretical part of it, look at what the academics have said, see what Leicester has to say, those sorts of things. Then we're going to go off piste a little bit. We're going to go to Pakuranga College. We're going to talk to kids, young guys and girls in their teams, leaders amongst their peers, and see what their point of view is. Then it's off to the other end of the spectrum. We're going to go and talk to CEOs, guys who have reached the top of their businesses. They're respected leaders. They have a lot of influence around our communities. See what they have to say. And finally, we will put down our own views, so our collective group's opinion on what we've learned, and lay down a little bit of a challenge to you guys to really live this in your day-to-day lives. So,
since our last meeting, I've been reviewing the contributions to our Moodle space. There's a central theme to a lot of people's entries. They're around listening and not taking the command role by default. Some of the group are starting to look at new ways of dealing with situations compared with the way they may have done things in the past. There's eagerness to explore that wicked space and to experiment and do other things. We have, however, quite a lot of different people in our group. In our exploration of our leadership and doing different things, we need to be careful that we're doing things that are of value to us, and what may work for others might not work for ourselves. And we have to remember that leadership is a long game, and actions taken now may not manifest in results in the short term. So in exploration of leadership in the short term, how do we make sure we know what we're doing is right? What's right for us, what's right for our businesses?
There's various references throughout the course that's available to us on authentic leadership. In particular, Dr. Lester Levy and Mark Bentley's paper, titled More Right Than Real, endorses the view around the importance to develop a leadership style that works well with you, consistent with your character, consistent with your personality. Various articles also refer to common characteristics of an authentic leader, namely things such as actions based on values, leading from personal conviction, and not faking your leadership style. It's true to say the more authentic the leadership style, the more likely the leader and the workforce will demonstrate the essential ingredients of success.
In this presentation, students from Pakuranga College talk about their views of authentic leadership. Our students were interviewed just after camp, so they do look rather tired and they don't normally dress in this attire, but I'm sure you will appreciate what they have to say.
Real leadership, so stepping in, not just leading by telling people what to do, but leading by example and actually getting in and doing things. So more action rather than words.
Yeah, it's not letting the power corrupt you and making you just try and be in charge and be the boss. It's getting everyone to get involved and helping everyone out.
I think leadership is all about people. So an authentic leader has to look out for the people and not just go for glory for themselves.
Like, not just a leader who wants to do it for themselves, but actually caring for the people that they're leading for. Yeah.
And sticking to your values and like going through other people's values as well.
Stepping up, not like sitting back and just letting it happen.
Just a leader who helps others and who takes pride in it.
Yeah, someone who sticks to what they believe in and someone who's truthful to themselves.
Someone who is themselves and leads in the right way.
Someone who does something to the best of their abilities and, yeah.
To me, it's someone who's sincere in their beliefs and intentions and follows through.
Well, what it means is a leader who has a load of enthusiasm and motivation and is involved in everything, and people look up to them.
It's just commitment, just making sure you turn up there and you actually act as a leader and you don't try to just fall back and choose not to participate and get everyone involved.
Being prepared to take the role, I guess.
Yeah, just participating fully in everything and encouraging others to do the same.
You have to follow what you're saying, so you need to step down and make sure that you're considered one of the people that you're leading as well as the leaders, not just
Genuine care for the people that you're leading for. Yeah.
Finishing projects as well, following them through, this bike ride, finishing it was...
Do what you say.
Just bring new, fresh ideas into the role and make things better for everyone.
also being yourself.
like not trying to be someone else. Because everyone's different. That's what authentic.
I don't try and lead like someone else because that's not you.
Just be yourself. You know, you might have something that another person doesn't have, which is a good thing. And it's okay to make mistakes. Just learn from your mistakes.
Actually, great communication is very important. It's voicing your ideas to people and never giving up for what you believe in. Not letting go of that.
Being able to communicate to different people who have different strengths and weaknesses.
I'd say being able to recognise like your values and your priorities, and just sort out what's most important to you.
Staying true to your
yourself.
Yeah. Staying true to who you are and your personality.
And keep your values
Be real.
close.
Yeah. Values.
Okay guys, let's now have a look at authentic leadership from a CEO's point of view. These are guys and girls that have reached the top of their field. They have a lot of influence. They certainly command a lot of people. So what do they think about authentic leadership? Brian Blake, the long-standing managing director of DB Breweries. Let's start by having a look at what Brian had to say on the topic.
Talk about authentic leadership, then it's coming back to the sort of values we talk about in terms of having high ethical standards. It's not about exploiting the people in the organisation. It's about setting standards and having high values, and working through those people in a way that you develop a tremendous amount of trust with your people. And I think a lot of that relates to openness and communication and style. It relates to walking the talk as well as talking the talk. I think you get a lot of leaders that talk a lot about what they're going to do, but at the end of the day, your people will judge you on your own behaviours, which reflect your own values, and hopefully they're totally consistent with the organisation's values. So I think at the end of the day, how would you sum that up? Well, you'd want your people to say, shit, he's a bloody good leader, he's a bloody good bloke, we trust him, we think he has the right vision for the company and we're prepared to, follow him. But at the end of the day, and we know that in DB, that, really what produces sustainable profitability over the long term is having really, really good people and developing them and having really, really good brands. So I think a lot of potential leaders in New Zealand need to focus more on the people side of the business. I just don't think there's enough attention given to that. I think generally people underestimate the impact they can have on the organisation when they spend time on their people. Basically being a bloody good person, It's about having high values and high ethics and behaving in such a way, it's the whole thing about the way you'd like people to treat you is the way you should treat the rest of the organisation. So some of the stuff's reasonably basic, and maybe a lot of people overcomplicate it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We wish to conclude our presentation today by issuing a challenge to you. And the challenge is for you to learn the lessons that we mentioned today and apply them to your role. But it's not something that you're born with, authentic leadership. Each of us is unique, but it's a skill that we have to develop and practice, and we need to be willing to learn and take responsibility for developing that. So what can we do? The first thing we need to do is to understand our strengths and weaknesses. Once we understand that, then we can build on our strengths. In order to do that, we need to create an environment where people are willing to give honest feedback about what our strengths and weaknesses are, and we need to be able to create some space where we can reflect on ourselves. Secondly, we need a strong sense of purpose. We need to be very clear about what our core values are and have a strong vision. That's something that's going to be an ongoing and dynamic exercise. It means sometimes you'll have to be courageous and do things that your heart tells you to do and not necessarily bow to pressure. We need to lead by example. So we need to create an environment where we're positive, motivated, committed, and we have resilience. We need to challenge our employees around us by setting stretching goals which allows them to develop themselves, and that will in turn motivate and inspire them. Finally, we need to connect with people. We need to build relationships with them, and in order to do that we need to be honest and engage people. So those are the challenges for you to apply to your daily practice.